Alright, /x/ I've got a weird story to tell you guys. I don't come to this board often at all, but this seems like the right place. Be me. Serving in prison for street racing, yet I know it's fucking stupid. I did it once after getting pressured by my friend. Got caught immediately. 2 months in, get a new cellmate. Nice enough guy but scared of everything, mumbled to himself. Get to know him, turns out he's a paranoid schizophrenic. Wakes up screaming some nights. Tells me about his delusions, he knows he's fucked up. Accept them, man, I know they're not delusions. I'm not fucking crazy. I see those eyes every time I close my eyes. I'm never gonna unsee that red light. Starts rambling about how they come for him at night, and he got himself in prison to stay safe. Won't tell me what he did to get locked up, dodges the question every time. Fast forward a month, we become friends and he opens up a little. Tells me how he used to never sleep because that's when shit would go down. When he would start to doze off, his body would start to feel really heavy, and he'd get a vibrating sensation in his limbs, like a heavier, slower version of the way you feel when your leg falls asleep. A humming noise will start out quiet, and get louder and louder, and a bright white light fills the room, and then it slowly turns blood red as the hum reaches its peak pitch, like a skull-splitting tinnitus. Says he usually blacks out after that, but not always. Sometimes I see them. They don't want me to remember. Ask him what he means. Starts describing fucking greys, in great detail. I didn't believe in aliens at the time, so I thought he was totally nuts. Short, with limbs longer in proportion to their bodies than humans, about 4.5 to 5.3 feet tall. Gray, almost see-through skin. He said it looked more like a membrane than it did human skin. Massive black eyes, that reflected everything like a mirror. They smelled almost like in a burning phone charger. I asked him about the smell, but he just shrugged and said it was hard to describe, that it didn't really smell like burning plastic and wire, but it was the only way he could word it since he'd never smelled anything quite like it before. Says he's getting uncomfortable, that talking about them for too long makes him anxious, so he goes to sleep. Next day we had art therapy, fucking stupid, right? And he gets all twitchy and starts drawing creepy shit. Gonna continue in next post. We start art therapy. Basically we do it to let out our feelings because it's supposed to help people be less violent or something, I don't really know. I just start doodling. I'm usually a pretty chill guy and I didn't really have anything on my mind. Danny, my cellmate, seems to enjoy these sessions for the most part, even though he's not very good. This time it's different. Super anxious, says he was up nearly all night, even though I was up late and didn't hear him make a sound. Keeps scratching his neck obsessively, constantly chewing on his forefinger, looks on the verge of some sort of panic attack. Therapist tells him to try and draw what's upsetting him. Stares at the paper and charcoal for like half the fucking session, and then starts feverishly drawing. Fills the entire page with shades of red, can barely make anything else out. Looks vaguely like a bedroom, can see a blurry doorway, what looks like a bed, maybe a dresser. It's all messy. You can see 3 figures near the bed, blurry except for the eyes. Huge, pitch black almond-shaped eyes. They're surrounding the bed, with a staticky stick figure, Danny, in it, screaming. Therapist asks him to tell him what it is, and he just mumbles about a nightmare. I'm typing this in between answering phone calls from customers, but it's a slow day, so I'm doing my best to post fast. Ask Danny about the art later, tells me it's usually what happens. Therapist tells him it's a nightmare or sleep paralysis. Nightmares don't leave marks. He turns around and shows me the base of his neck. There's a faded scar, Small, perfect circle with a triangle of 3 dots in the middle. What the fuck? He says he's woken up after nightmares with bruises in strange places on his body, other triangles made from dots. Therapist claimed it was just him self-harming in his sleep, or sleepwalking. Bullshit.jpg. It's time for lockup. Don't feel like sleeping, so I get in bed to read. On the first page of a new book when suddenly Danny sits up freaking the fuck out and yelling. Dude, what? I ask him what the fuck happened. He said they came for him and took him away. Now I know he's fucking nuts. Tells me to look at the time. There's a clock you can see from outside our cell. It's fucking 4 hours since lockup time. I was reading the same page that I started on 4 hours ago. There was no way I fell asleep or anything. That was one of the creepiest thing that ever happened to me. Danny said losing time is common, but that he didn't see me on board. Why the fuck would I lose time too? I've got more, don't worry, this isn't the end. Get really freaked out, don't want to believe him. Get checked out by the prison doc and PYSCH just in case I'm losing my shit, but they say I'm fine. Get cleared, so I just pass it off as dozing off while reading and not realizing it. Couple weeks go by as normal. Going the yard, art therapy once week, go to the library, etc. Prison starts letting inmates have chalk in their cells so they can draw or write or whatever, and it can't be used as a weapon. Danny starts drawing the faces of the Greys again, and drawing odd line symbols that are like dots with lines, kinda like constellations. This is near the end of my stay, think it was within the last month or two. Been waking up with headaches, nosebleeds some days. Not exactly strange, they can be side effects of the allergy meds I take. Looking forward to getting out. Danny still has a while to go. Still don't know what it was for or how long. We stay up late one night drinking shitty prison wine. The idiot who gave it to us fucked it up and it tasted like vinegar and piss, but it got us fucked up. Drink till we're on the verge of passing out when suddenly Danny freaks out. Shit, fuck, do you hear that? Anon, please tell me you don't hear that. It's the humming noise he mentioned. Oh fuck. The noise gets louder and louder and a higher whine can be heard over it, and Danny is pounding on the jail cell door screaming for help. No one comes, no prisoner tells us to shut the fuck up, no guard comes to slam their baton into the bars. What the fuck is happening? A bright, pulsating white light is filling the prison, searing my eyes. Suddenly turns blood red and everything goes dead quiet. So quiet you can hear the blood rushing in your ears. I try to hide under my bed. Can't move, it's like I'm made of lead, my body is buzzing like it's made of fucking bees. Start to panic, want to scream for help, ask Danny if he's okay, but I can't even open my mouth. Get the sudden feeling of being watched. In the glow of the red light, I can see shadows on the wall. Shadows start moving around. Suddenly I feel a sharp pain in my head, and get a mental image of myself frozen in the cell, with Danny a few feet behind me. It was like someone put a camera in the cell and I was watching. Image was gone, but I could sense something was next to me. Everything goes cold, and the vibrating gets worse and more violent, almost if the cells in my body were being thrown around. I can feel myself being lifted off the ground. Close my eyes, and even though I'm not religious, I start to pray. What else am I going to do? To anything that'll listen. The red light is seared into my retinas. I'm screaming inside but nothing comes out. Suddenly I'm in a room. It's steel colored with no light source, but evenly lit to the point of no shadow. The next thing I see is the eyes Danny mentioned. They were fucking horrible. Massive eyes, that took up like a quarter of the face. Almond shaped and slanted like 45 degrees, it was pitch black. I could see my own terrified reflection in them. Those massive, wet, black voids reflected every inch of terror in my face. Those things didn't look remotely human. No drawing or Photoshop or mask has come close to how awful those things were. The waxy, membrane-like skin almost pulsated. Images flashed through my head. Me and Danny, the aliens, the prison, pictures of planets, organs, stars. It gave me a massive headache. I don't know what it was trying to do. Suddenly I'm in the prison hospital. They found me on the floor of the prison cell, with a blinding headache, lying in a pool of my own vomit and blood pouring from my nose. They found Danny huddled in the corner sobbing, shit in his pants, covered in scratches and bruises. Doctors and guards questioned me. They thought we were fighting,